Hello, my cubs, and welcome back to the Cozy Den. Yes, we are still here, relaxing in the den, as we continue to explore the in-game lore and literature delivered from Kingdom Come Deliverance. So make yourselves comfortable and settle in today as we read on the Margraviate Wars. And a quick reminder before we continue to like and subscribe if you enjoy this content, as it means the world to me and it helps a lot to support the channel. Now for today's reading. When Emperor Charles IV had taken his last breath, order in both the Bohemian lands and in the entire Roman Empire began to deteriorate. The new emperor, Wenceslas IV, could not maintain unity and prosperity, and thus this union of states did begin to unravel, and its rulers, without a strong hand to guide them, did begin to quarrel and conspire against each other. In the lands of the Bohemian crown, and particularly in the March of Moravia, it led to support for Sigismund of Hungary, the brother of Wenceslas IV, who was seen as a better ruler who could resolve conflict and quell disorder. Wars in Moravia began when King Wenceslas, represented by his cousin Prokop, after the death of the Bishop of Olomouc, did occupy for himself all of his estates and did consider them to be his own. And the tide of resistance did rise, as many of the Moravian nobles did claim these estates as their own according to inheritance rights. Jobst of Moravia stood at the head of the discontent lords, and with support from most of the Moravia dukes, he began to openly rebel against the king, and did ally himself with Sigismund of Hungary. This act of rebellion was not so much about the bishop's estate, but about who would rule Bohemia and Moravia, Wenceslas or Sigismund. For the time being, however, only inheritance rights are spoken about aloud, for no one has yet dared to make mention of dethroning the king. Moravia has found itself in a whirlwind of fighting and anarchy, for the local nobility have plundered each other's towns and conquered each other's castles. Depending on whose side they were on and to whom they believed the estates should belong to. How many villages were razed to the ground and how many innocent lives were taken in the name of this tug of war. Many knights, who had up to that point demonstrated behavior and deeds fitting to their rank, now formed robber bands and on the highways attacked and murdered travelers and merchants alike. For there was no one to stop them. Later, other Bohemian lords did side with the Moravian cause, with Jobst at the head, and the king was imprisoned, and Sigismund was openly supported to become the new king of the land. Well, There you go, my cubs. Another fascinating tale from this period in history, as delivered through Kingdom Come Deliverance, of course. But an interesting note on this particular text is that it refers to Sigismund as Sigismund of Hungary, whilst most other resources refer to him as Sigismund of Luxembourg. So there is a lingering question there, and one, if you know this history far better than this silly little fox, then do enlighten us in the comments below if you have thoughts on this. However, it may be simply a typo in the transcript of the book. Perhaps it is a inconsistency with the real-world history that is referenced. Either way, a quite fascinating point. So yes, again, do share your thoughts and wisdom if you happen to know more about this inconsistency, because such things are always oh so fascinating. But yes, until next time now, my cubs, stay cozy.